All right, so let's go ahead and talk about Bitfarms and more Bitcoin mining coming to the network. This one's interesting because we've been talking about kind of the rise in like ASICs and institutional investment into ASICs. This is at least within the crypto space. But by that, I mean, as far as like the way they're generating the loans, etc. That being said, it is making it very difficult for the smaller miners that are typically like GPU miners to get into ASICs at all. If you started early enough, Bitsby Trippin was able to make a shift into purchasing quite a few ASICs, but he's been doing this longer than anybody else, meaning that he had the most capital to get into it. But even at the size he's at, it's really hard to compete on the network with companies like this. But miner Bitfarms raises 100 million Bitcoin backed loan with Galaxy Digital. The miner has already made an initial $60 million drawdown with a 6-month term at an interest rate of 10.75%. I slept in too late. It's hard. We're going to get to talking soon. Bitcoin miner Bitfarms secured a $100 million credit facility with blockchain and cryptocurrency financial services provider Galaxy Digital Holdings. The facility is backed by the company's Bitcoin holdings. The Toronto-based miner has already drawn down $60 million at an interest rate of 10.75% per year with a 6-month term and expects to draw more over the next few months, according to a statement. Quote, "Our new $100 million BTC credit facility adds another component to our diversified financing strategy and contributes a significant non-dilutive capital to fund our global growth initiatives, which include 4 farms with 298 megawatts mining capacity under construction," end quote, says CFO Jeff Lucas. Bitfarms intends to use the funds to reach a hash rate of 3 exahash per second by March 31st and 8 exahash a second by December 31st of 2022. The miner said it has over 3,300 Bitcoins in its treasury currently. On December 1st, the company said it minted 339 Bitcoins in November, down from the 343 in October as network difficulty increased. It reached a hash rate of 2 exahash in mid-November. Prior to Bitfarms, Galaxy Digital had already loaned at least $65 million to public mining companies this year, according to a report by Compass Mining. Oh man. So one of the things that I've talked about on this channel before is like not investing what you're not willing to lose, as well as not purchasing cryptocurrency mining hardware on credit. And part of the reasoning behind that is because I feel like offering advice that says, yeah, go all in and grab, your mining equipment on credit would be ill-advised, especially at like smaller levels for GPU miners and such. If we hit like something like a bear market and then, you're not making enough, or the power costs start to rise and it makes it unprofitable for you, and you're stretched trying to pay off a credit card bill. Now, in the case of large companies investing this amount, they're obviously backing it with the Bitcoin that they already have. It is interesting though, because a lot of people are starting to feel like we're getting ready to hit a bear market pretty much right around the same time that they would be upgrading to 3 exahash per second, right in that March time frame. And what does this mean? Does this mean that maybe they don't expect a bear market? Do they just think they're going to be able to increase past that? I don't really know. It's interesting to see a lot of people, a lot of these large mining farms investing so heavily right at this time when hardware is at its peak, difficulties at its peak, and we are starting to see the profitability drop off on the actual miners themselves. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm seeing as far as like all of this goes. Does it mean that we aren't going to hit a bear market? Because one of the things that we are aware of that you should keep in mind is that miners directly influence the entire cryptocurrency market. The Bitcoin supercycle is based directly on the halving of Bitcoin. So when we see these huge bull runs, what precedes the huge bull runs every single time? It is the halving. Why does the halving precede the huge bull runs? Well, it precedes it because essentially the miners now need to increase the price of Bitcoin to accommodate for receiving half of the reward that they did previously. And that is kind of why you always see that same cycle every 4 years, right after the basically halving of Bitcoin. So if you have a whole bunch of large institutional investors, large mining companies investing super heavily into mining at any given time, it may mean, good news for the cryptocurrency market in general. It's going to be a lot less likely that all of these newly minted Bitcoins are going to go onto the market at a loss. And so you can see some positives in there, like I said, because miners influence the market. That is another key point that I wanted to bring up for Ethereum and the move to proof of stake. There are rumors floating around, of course, that we have large mining farms influencing Ethereum developers to delay proof of work or modify or adjust proof of work to not fully go away post-merge. These are all rumors, but it kind of makes sense with, like I said, the influence of miners. And I'm curious to see where that heads in the future. Do I think that we are going to see a delay past June of 2022 for the merge? Not necessarily, but do I think that we may still have some form of proof of work available to miners post-merge? Well, that may be something that would be more possible. I will say this, though, before anything, I should correct the previous statement. Do I think there will be a delay past June 2022? There's no evidence that there will be a delay of the merge past June of 2022 at this time for ETH 2.0 and the merge, etc. Does that mean there won't be a delay? No. Historically, and the joke that I've always said, right, is that Ethereum proof of stake or the Ethereum merge is basically indefinitely delayed 2 years, right? So the key word there being indefinitely and then delayed 2 years. So the closer we get, we'll see if they go ahead and move that difficulty bomb further and further. We've talked about this in more detail in other videos. So if you want to see how to track it on ETH Magicians, for example, then definitely go check that video out. But it's BitsBee Trippin' in the chat, guys. The OG of miners, cryptocurrency miners. Make sure you guys go give him a follow. I'm going to post his link. Or look, Bits, you're a mod. Post your own link. Make sure you guys go subscribe to BitsBee Trippin's channel. I saw that new camera, bro. It looks sick. I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Morning Show every Monday through Friday, 7:45 a.m. Pacific and 10:45 a.m. Eastern Time. You can check out more clips here, or if you're interested in checking out the entire live show, you can check that out down here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.